Hello everyone, back tuning into today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. For today's second video, which will take us to around the 17th of May, we'll be able to extend out beyond that, extended GFS and these ensembles over into around a couple of weeks. And have a look at Beijing Climate Center at the end of the video for the next 40 days. That takes us well into June. So I'll get on that for you very shortly, just to say we've had a final look at the bank holiday weekend. So it's going to be quite an interesting bank holiday weekend, starting off tomorrow, really warm, and then Saturday we could see heavy showers or possibly thunder breaking out. And then on Sunday we're going to have an Arctic plunge. So it's all going to be going on over the weekend. Have a look at that final update for the bank holiday weekend. That's already been released. We're going to be doing storm watch, I think, later on this afternoon. So we'll have a look at the thunder potential with a few models, and that'll be coming up a little bit later on. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to say a big thank you to our latest PayPal donor. So I've had a donation through PayPal for Gazwevids. So hello, and thank you so much to Simon Latimer. Thank you so much, Simon Latimer, for becoming our latest PayPal donor. That's absolutely great, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Simon, for doing that. If you'd like to become a donor for Gazwevids, all you need to do is come to Gazwevids' PayPal page, sign into your PayPal account, and you can donate whatever money you would like to Gazwevids, and by doing that, you're going to become a donor for Gazwevids. It's going to keep mention your videos as long as you want, but if you'd rather stay anonymous, then that's fine, but otherwise you will get a mention in the videos. Excuse me. There is also Patreon as well, of course, so we've got 60 patrons. Hello, and a big thank you to our 60 patrons. And if you'd like to become a patron for Gazwevids, all you need to do is go to Gazwevids' Patreon page, sign up for a Patreon account, assuming you don't already have one, and then give an ongoing monthly donation to Gazwevids. And of course, lately we have been opening the channel up to channel membership on YouTube. So if you'd like to become a Gazwevids YouTube channel member, again, all you need to do is come to the Gazwevids YouTube homepage and click the join button. You'll find the join button also with the videos on the channel, and then that takes you to another page where you can see what benefits you will get for becoming a Gazwevids channel member, and you can sign up. If you can't see the join button, the workaround is to have a look at the description, because there's a link in the description that will take you also to the join page, and there's a link on the homepage at Gazwevids.com as well, of course. This is all paying for our website, Gazwevids.com. We're primarily ads funded, but ads yields have collapsed. It's fair to say the revenue that we would normally be getting from the advertisements has absolutely dropped away into the floor at the moment. We've seen the news today about the loss of GDP that we're going to be getting over the next this quarter. I think down about 25% this quarter, and something like 14% overall for GDP this year. So it's a catastrophic collapse in the economy. And so the advertisements that help pay for the website, they've been hit very, very badly from this. Of course, the ads are still there, but they just don't generate any money at the moment. That's perfectly understandable. If like companies are seeing their revenue dry up, then they're not going to have money to pay for advertisements. So the upshot is these other revenue streams are very, very useful, very, very helpful, and the way you are supporting Gazwevids through this crisis is absolutely fantastic, because I appreciate it's a very difficult time for everybody. So the way you're supporting us is absolutely amazing, and thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We will get through this crisis. We are going to come out the other end. I see we're already talking about beginning to ease restrictions on the lockdown. So in time, we're going to get through this, and things will get back to normal. And our promise to you is that for as long as we possibly can, we're going to keep recording and uploading and live streaming and bring you all of the updates and the content that you want. So a huge thank you to all of you for your support, and our promise back to you is that we're going to carry on with the content that you are hopefully enjoying. So a big thank you to all of our donors, big thank you to all of our patrons, big thank you to all of our channel members, and special thank you to Simon Latimer for becoming our latest donor. Thank you so much, Simon, for doing that. Right, let's move on with the video. So we're going to start off having a look at central temperature. The CT is currently standing at 10.4. That's provisional to the 6th of May. Yesterday That's 0.4 degrees above average. So it's not been particularly warm start to now, though the temperature is getting warmer now. We're going to see this lifting up, I think, into the 11s over the next couple of days, and then probably dropping back quite significantly through the early part of next week. But at the moment, nothing too dramatic going on in terms of the central England temperature after a very warm April, of course. These are the 500 millibar high anomaly flow charts of Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top, and the GFS, which we'll have a look in a moment, is on the bottom. So 500 millibars is an area in the atmosphere, high pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream. Red and orange extrapolate high pressure, blue to low pressure. You can see that within the week to 10 day time frame, we've got quite a deep area of low pressure up to the north of the country around Scandinavia. So another pretty deep trough looks like it's going to plunge into Scandinavia in the 7 to 10 day time frame. That's similar to what's going on over this weekend, of course. But we've got this ridge out to our southwest, and that ridge will be trying to bring us something a little bit drier and warmer as it extends up from the Azores high. And the GFS actually makes a little bit more of that ridge, so there it is. It's a little bit stronger with the GFS sitting over and just to our west. Again, we do see that trough elongating through northern parts of Europe. Jet stream is doing something a little bit like that. So it's a drier option, I think, the GFS in the 7 to 10 day time frame. But both of them are trying to bring an extension up from the Azores high to turn us rather drier and a little bit warmer as well. So after the cold shot that we've got coming up by the end of the weekend into the early part of next week, the idea is still, I think, as we move into the middle part of the month, then second half of the month, we should start to see a recovery in the temperature. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next couple of weeks, look at Shipley today. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Shipley, and we're starting off warmer than average at the moment. By the way, if you would like to have your local town or city featured within this section video, then please email us through gazwebbers@gmail.com or ask us via our social media accounts. We're very, very happy to add your local town or city to this section of the video. That's absolutely great. So again, we're starting off warmer than average at the moment at Shipley. We're going to see the temperature do a little bit of a plunge, though, as I've been saying over the weekend. So there we are, a very big drop in the temperature. That's very impressive cold for like the 11th, 12th of May. It's going below -5 at 850 HPA. Somewhere between -5 and -10. That's quite remarkable, especially from where how warm it is to start off. So it's over a 10-degree temperature drop. Really, really impressive indeed. Now, it's going to take a while after such a big drop to lift the temperature up, but by the middle part of the month, that's this period just here, we do see that the upper air temperatures start to get back to something closer to normality. But it will take a few days, I think, before we warm things up, particularly so at night. And do watch out for the chance of some really quite sharp frost through the early and possibly middle part of next week. Precipitation-wise, a lot of dry weather coming up. As the temperature drops and we move this cold front through, it could trigger some heavy showers, maybe even some thundering outbreaks. That's the reason I think I'm going to do storm watch a little bit later on. Beyond that, though, there's a reasonable amount of dry weather as we go into like up to the middle part of the month. Maybe hints of things going more unsettled into the second half of the month now. That is very extended range stuff, but there is just a few hints there, maybe, of a more unsettled spell developing into the second half of May. But it's unreliable. It's extended range, both for the GFS and its ensembles, in a more reliable time frame, which is the next week to 10 days. It's not too unsettled at all. This is the temperature anomaly for the 7th to the 15th of May, so below average quite widely across most parts of Europe, UK and Ireland, also coming out with colder than average temperatures. Really quite significantly below average up across Scandinavia, you'll notice. Precipitation anomaly is still looking drier than average. That's even with a chance of some heavy showers on Saturday in particular. So precipitation from 7th to 15th May, again, drier than average. Excuse me again. This is how the GFS is looking for Sunday, and winds are going into the north on Sunday, bringing down cold air from polar origins. So if you follow the isobars back, the air does originate from a very, very long way south, and it's from a very long way north, I should say, and it's plunging, absolutely plunging southwards. So yes, we get cold shock Sunday and Monday. Could be cold enough for snow showers across northeastern parts of Scotland, wintry showers for northeast England, and more severe implications, widespread night frost through the early part of next week as this ridge of high pressure begins to build back in. We'll cut off the northerly, but under the ridge of high pressure it's going to go really, really cold, and yeah, we're going to see some sharp overnight frost through the early part of next week. Middle of next week, again, we're under the high pressure, lots of dry weather, and that high pressure continues into the second half next week. And the difference through the second half next week is that we'll start to bring the wind in more from an east to southeasterly direction, and that will start to lift up the temperature. So temperatures begin to recover through the second half next week. Now, this low is interesting on Saturday next week, 16th of May. That could be threatening heavy rain or thunderstorms from the south. Difficult to say how far north that low gets, but certainly the GFS 6 o'clock run wants to bring that up into the country by day 10. So we'll be watching out for whether we get potentially a push of warmth, maybe around day 9, 10. Next weekend, like the weekend after next, I suppose. We watch out for that, and we watch out for whether that triggers thunder. And then we go into more unsettled spell, which we saw within the GFS ensembles. Low pressure then starts to come in from off the Atlantic, so we begin to get a little bit more mobility going as we move through the third week of May. But of course, again, that's very extended range stuff. This is taking us just into the bank holiday weekend, the next bank holiday weekend, late spring bank holiday weekend, as I would know it, Whitsun, the break. So we'll probably start updates for late spring bank holiday weekend sometime over the weekend. I know, again, the interest is very low really this year with these bank holidays because everybody's stuck indoors, but I did say that because I had to cancel all the videos and forecasts for events like Glastonbury, and that's really sad, but we've had to do that. But I did say that the one thing we'd keep going would be updates for the bank holiday weekend. So if you want to see updates for late spring bank holiday weekend, then let me know in the comments and on social media, and if you want to see it, then I will do it. GM looks like that. So again, we've got high pressure out to the northwest, bringing in the winds from a northerly direction on Sunday and Monday. Cold northerly winds Sunday and Monday. Then high pressure sort of sinks back in over the country through the middle part of next week, cuts off the northerly, and turns us mainly dry. But GM then tries to take the high pressure back north again, though, interestingly. So at this point, the GFS has a high pressure kind of over and slightly to the east of the country. We draw in a warmer east to southeasterly, but the GM actually has a high pressure up to Iceland and Greenland and starts to draw in some colder air, or potentially some cooler air from the north again. So that's a little bit different with the GM compared to the GFS. That's how we look as we get to day 10. Sunday 17th of May has a high pressure just out to west. We're still in generally a slack northerly flow, so even May it will still be quite chilly. Plenty of dry weather though on offer with that. High pressure's in control all the way. It's just that the high pressure really is bringing cool winds from the north. ECM, again, this is how it's looking for Monday. So there comes the cold northerly winds on Sunday, and into Monday too. And then on Tuesday, the high pressure just sort of sitting around the country, keeping us mostly dry, but it will be cold by night. Daytime temperatures probably starting to recover. And then into the second half of next week, again, I think it's a little bit similar to what the GFS is showing. Should start to see warmer air, or milder air, less cold air, moving in from the east and from the southeast. Again, watch out for this low pressure, where this is going down here. That is trying to bring up probably quite a bit of warmth, although the warmth with below is actually across eastern parts of Europe. It's just here, drawing the heat up out of North Africa. It's also trying to bring up a lot of heavy rain and potentially thunder. So we've got to watch out for where that low pressure is going. 16th, 17th of May. Quite interesting. It may turn very warm, could turn very wet. That's what we're going to get to day 10. The low pressure then heads off up to Germany, and we're left like with a slack sort of ridge from the Azores High, extension from the Azores High, as we saw on the chart we're just looking at from Penn State University. Right, this is how precipitation is looking from the from Tibetcho.com. So you've got showers in the west and the northwest right now. Otherwise, plenty of dry weather coming up today. Tomorrow, again, quite a lot of dry weather. More showers breaking out in the north tomorrow across Scotland. We're going to Saturday, and again, the emphasis is on dry weather, but showers are breaking out across central and northern parts of the country on Saturday. This is a band of persistent rain on a cold front across Scotland. These are heavy showers breaking out ahead of it across Northern England, possibly Northern Ireland. This has toned the shower and thunderstorm risk down, though, for Saturday compared to earlier runs. So the earlier ECM yesterday, I think, had quite a lot of heavy showers and storms breaking out from many parts of England and Wales. That's been toned down quite a lot. But we'll have a look at this on Stormwatch later on anyway. And then we see that front coming southeastwards across the country as we go through sort of Saturday night into Sunday. It's a weakening feature, only bringing showery outbreaks of rain, and then wintry showers or even snow showers packing into the far north and northeast Scotland for Sunday. After that, the emphasis really is on dry weather, plenty of dry conditions coming up through next week, and after the cold shock, temperatures will begin to stage a recovery. Very little in the way of rain through next week at all. It's going to go very dry again, I think, next week. But let's get through to that weekend of 16th, 17th of May. There's a heavy thundery rain just threatening the southeastern France. Again, we've got to watch out what's going on with that. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 17th of May. We have 20 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure up to our northeast and bringing in an easterly wind. And so, yes, we could see mainly dry weather with that. Day 10, and temperatures should be reasonably warm as well, I would have thought. 19 members of the ECM ensembles with a ridge of high pressure over and slightly to the northern country. Again, that's bringing lots of dry weather. And then 12, which does include the operational run, that's one we'll just be talking about, gradually showing low pressure beginning to encroach back in from off the Atlantic. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. They still look rather anticyclonic, really. It gets us to the 22nd of May. 20 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure sort of over slightly to the south of the country, 17 with high pressure over the country, 14 with high pressure blocking to our north and bringing in more of an east to northeasterly wind with that one. It looks like we're going to see plenty of dry weather continuing even into the second half of the month to me. Finally, we've got the 500 millibar height anomalies from the Beijing Climate Center. Now, did I say at the start of the video that we'd be looking at the CFSV2 or the Beijing Climate Center? I'm not sure what I said, but in any case, it's Beijing Climate Center today. So these are 500 millibar heights. We're broken down to 10-day periods. The first 10-day period will take us from the 6th to the 15th of May. The coming week has, coming 10 days, has above average heights out to the northwest, and we bring winds in from like an easterly direction. So we know what's going on in the 10 days ahead. The next 10 days is going to be the 16th to 25th of May. Low pressure out to the northwest. A little bit of a slacker sort of westerly flow. Turning a little bit more unsettled and a little bit mobile perhaps too. Next 10-day period is the 26th of May through to the 4th of June. High pressure then starts to build up from the south. Low pressure the jet stream getting pushed north. That's turning us increasingly dry and potentially very warm. That could be a very warm start to June, maybe even hints of a very warm first half to June, because this is the second 10-day period from the 5th to the 14th of June, and the high is back in over the country. Low pressure going to the north. Could it be that June 2020 is going to have the hot first half? It's certainly hinted at there by the Beijing Climate Center, but it's all a very long way off, so we'll have to wait and see. Right, so in the more immediate time frame, though, that's all speculative. In the more immediate time frame, we're looking at, of course, warm temperatures over the next couple of days. Then the northerly plunge, that's still on course, going to turn a lot colder, certainly through to Monday. Then after that, we're going to go into a drier spell of weather through the rest of next week, looking very dry. Actually, next week, and after a cold start, temperatures will day by day slowly begin to pick up a bit, although nights will be cold right way into the middle of next week, I think, with the risk of overnight frost. And then into second half of May, perhaps a few hints there, but it could begin to turn a bit more unsettled. That's from the GFS anyway, but the other models look relatively anticyclonic even into the second half of the month. We'll be back later on with Stormwatch to see what funding potential we have got for Saturday. So come back for that then. Please give us a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get the subs up to 7,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. I'm not sure we'll be able to do that. Sub counters ground to a bit of a halt at the moment, as has the views on the videos. Really, we're not generating as many views as we would normally do so this point of the year, I suppose, due to everybody being in lockdown and just a lot less interesting what weather is doing while everybody is stuck indoors. And of course we would now normally be starting to build up to Glastonbury as well, so we would normally start to pick up quite a few new subs to the channel for people waiting for Glastonbury updates, but again, that's all off due to coronavirus. We've been hit quite badly, actually, Gazweb. It's been hit quite badly by this coronavirus lockdown. But as I say, we're going to get through it. We will come out on the other side, and the way you're supporting Gazweb has been absolutely great, absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for everybody for your support, and yeah, we're going to get on the other side of this, and hopefully things will start to get a little bit better before too much longer. Right then, so that's it for video number 2. We'll be back later on with Stormwatch, so come back for that later on. That's all for now, though, and thanks for watching.